Now, apparently, there are some rumors floating around that Elon Musk's Grok might end up in the iPhone. There is some talk about it Grok being used as the AI for the iPhone. Now, obviously, Grok has some issues. We all heard about it. But for Apple, this actually might be seriously big news because in this modern day and age, smartphones have become so it's almost reached a pinnacle of where this technology of a smartphone can go. I mean, the only improvements you can honestly make is in the cameras, and even that's minimalistic from each generation. So everyone's really focusing on AI because AI is new and there's a lot that it still has to grow. So they're gonna try and use that on each generation to make it more appealing. The more utility from each generation, they'll make it more and more usable until it reaches in our peak. But I think that's still gonna be a few years away, maybe five, hopefully. So yeah, AI is what all the manufacturers are focusing on. Samsung's focusing on it, Google's focusing on it, and Apple should be focusing on it, but its AI, it's really falling behind. It's not where anywhere where it needs to be competitive with the others, and that's a huge problem. Especially considering that when you look at the hardware, there's isn't really much difference that the average iPhone buyer cares about. There's a much utility difference you're getting from it. The cameras are not that different. The display's not that different. The battery life's not that different. And Apple really needs to step up their game in some way or the other to stay in the competition because if it cannot keep up with the AIs of the other phones, then it's gonna get crushed. And even the brand value of Apple has its limitations. If it doesn't keep innovating enough, it's gonna lose its reputation. That's just the basic reality. So if Elon Musk Grok ends up in the iPhone, that could be a proper AI for the iPhone. Now, it will probably rename to Siri or whatever, but still, it's an AI in the iPhone. Now, security concerns, I do have a few concerns about it. Since this is an outside AI that's going to be in the iPhone, and it's got access to the entire phone probably, depending on what kind of AI it is. And I'm not really sure about that, especially since Apple's been so focused on security and optimization and everything being in the phone. The Apple controlling the software, the hardware, everything. And now an outside AI is going to be coming into the iPhone. It's a bit concerning, but we have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, this is something that Apple desperately needs, especially since the new iPhone 17 series that's going to be coming out. Honestly, there isn't really much to make people wait and buy that phone if you can get the previous models for cheaper. The differences aren't really aren't really there. I mean, the base iPhone 17 is getting 120 hertz, but as Apple has proven, the people who buy iPhones are willing to put up with 60 hertz. So that's not going to be a huge selling point. And the 17 Pros, well, it's gonna have a different kind of zoom lens with two separate lenses or something. It's a complicated system. That's why it has that ugly back, the ugly board back. But again, that's the zoom lens, and that's not something people use a lot of the time. So that's not gonna be a hugely compelling factor to make everyone want to buy the new phone from their old iPhone, unless the phone's a couple of years old or something. And yeah, and then there's the 17 Air, which that phone doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's basically got one camera and a really small battery. So basically, you don't have the camera utility of a base iPhone 17, but you have the screen of a 17 Pro Max. But you don't. But you have base. You don't even have the battery life of a base iPhone 17 again. The iPhone 17 honestly looks like a better phone, and sure, it's aesthetically pleasing to look at, a really thin phone, but and it's not compelling enough with all the disadvantages there. I'm sure some people will buy it, but no. Apple needs something big now. There was the Apple Fold, but apparently that's going to be coming out next year. But the foldable market's already a bit flooded with with Samsung's new Fold. And that looks really good. Now, if Apple brought their Fold out before Samsung, that would have been a huge hit. But now Samsung's up their game. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to buy the iPhone Fold for software, but that's still a year away, and Apple needs to do something right now because the promise of AI that came in the iPhone 16 series, it still hasn't been fully realized, and it's a huge issue that they really need to address right now.